Today I'm going to be showing you how to do some really fun cherry nail art using only dip powder. But first I am going to start with a layer of the build powder on all of my nails. So I'm going to go ahead and apply that with the base coat. And I'm only going to show one nail of each of the colors as well as this build powder that I'll be using so that we can get into the cherry nail art. All right, after the build powder, I'm going to go in with the colors that I'll be using. The first color is Here's a Tip. This is going to be the base color on my nail for the nails that will have the cherry nail art on them. So it's just going to be a nice white base for those cherries to really pop. Also, I am doing 2 layers of each of the colors on my nails just so that they're nice and opaque. Okay, my ring and index finger are both going to have the white and then the cherry nail art on them. And the next color I'm using is Date Night. So this is that nice bright red. This is going to go as a full layer on my pinky, middle, and thumb. And again, I did do 2 layers to make sure the color was nice and opaque on all of those nails. And once I finished applying the colors to all of my nails, I am going in with the activator to harden the nails. I also am starting with the white nails, and I'm going to apply that liberally onto both of the white nails. And I'm doing it first on the white nails just to make sure that I don't transfer any of that red color over to the white nails. So I just wanted to make sure that none of that gets transferred over at all. After I activate, I am going to also file and shape these nails before I start the cherry nail art. So for the cherry nail art, the tools that I will be using is just a little piece of the aluminum foil from my kitchen, a toothpick as well from my kitchen, and then I also have this dotting tool. And you can use any size dotting tool you want. I will also be using the cuticle pusher from the starter kit for that little kind of scooped side. I'll be using the Date Night, which is also the same color that I used on 3 of my nails, and then the Forest Flex color for the cherry nail art as well. So I'm just going to dab a little bit of this base coat onto the aluminum foil, and that's where I'm going to pick up the color with my dotting tool. And I'm just going to place a couple of dots on my nail fairly close together. So that's going to be like 2 cherries connected by a stem. And then you see I'm using the scooped end of the cuticle pusher to kind of scoop that red color onto the base coat that I applied as the dots. And now I have my 2 cherries. And since I already activated the white dip powder for the base, none of that red is going to stick to the white. Now I'm going to go in with my toothpick, and I'm just going to dab that into the base coat a little bit, and I'm just going to kind of create a little bit of a triangle kind of shape above those 2 cherries to kind of create the stem that is joining them together. I'm going to do the same thing with the cuticle pusher and scoop up that green color and pour that right over to create the stems. And you can also go in with a little bit more of the base coat on the toothpick if you want to make the stems a little bit thicker or a little bit darker, which is what I'm doing here. And you just trace right over what has already been placed on the nail, and then you go in with the dip powder and again just scoop that right over your base coat that you applied to create the darker stem. And you can place as many cherries as you want. I decided to go with one more little single cherry at the top of my nail by my cuticle there. And you can use, of course, apply more base coat to your aluminum foil as you need to, because that base coat will dry. But I just wanted to place one more little single cherry, and then I'll do the same thing with the toothpick to create a little stem on that as well. And we will move on to the next step in just a moment. And that is looking super cute, and I'm really happy with how it came out. So before I move on to anything else, I am going to go ahead and activate those cherries with the activator to make sure that they are nice and hardened. I am going to file them just a little bit to make sure that they're not too textured before applying the top coat. So here I'm just filing it down a little bit to make the surface of the nail a little bit smoother. I'm doing this very gently because I don't want to remove any of the red or the green from the cherries at all. I just want to make that a little bit smoother on the surface. All right, and once I've finished with the filing, I am going to go in with a little bit of alcohol just to clean up all of that filing dust before moving on to the second layer of activator. And this is what's going to help the top coat be nice and shiny as well. So don't skip the second layer of activator. All right, so we're going to finish up this nail with the top coat. So I'm going to apply one thin layer from cuticle to free edge in just 2 to 3 quick swipes for my first layer. I'm also going to brush or wipe that brush off on my paper towel to make sure I don't get any activator residue in the bottle. And after a few minutes, I did apply the second layer of the top coat. As you can see here, I'm being a little bit more thorough, making sure I'm getting that over the whole surface of the nail to protect those cherries and my free edge. And I will let that dry for a few minutes, and then we are done. And it is super, super cute. I really love how this cherry nail art came out. Have a great day.